All right, guys, we're here with the Pit Chatter podcast. We are not in the Trackside Eats concession stand at Franklin County Speedway. We've got some renovation projects going on at the track. A couple of different things going on there. So we are recording this. We are live recording this, but we are not presenting this to you live. We are live recording this here in the Race 22 headquarters, Copper Hill, Virginia, a.k.a. my office. But we're here. I got my co-host Kimberly Austin here with me today. Kimberly, appreciate you sitting in for another show.
Thank you. Even though it's almost past my bedtime, I stayed up late just for this podcast.
Well, people listening to this, they won't. They hopefully they're listening to it in the morning or whatever, so they won't understand what the heck you're talking about. But one of those things. But we'll keep you awake here for just a little bit. We don't have a guest this week. We're doing the renovations and we're doing it in the house here. We're kind of stuck without anybody to have as a guest here. But we're going to carry on. We're going to talk about we released the race dates for the year. I think we got 21 or 22 race dates for the year. We released those yesterday, day before yesterday, whatever day that was. Got that info out there. People have been waiting on that. We kind of been behind. I was trying to piece everything together and kind of put out the schedule all at one time. And even though I've held off all the way until the end of January, I still don't have all the pieces and parts in place.
Yeah, and every day I'm getting 10 to 12 messages. Hey, you got the schedule done yet? Can you send me a screenshot of the schedule? You got a little snippet of it?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I'm not going to say it wasn't anything special because we got a lot of special things. I think we've got more touring series coming to the track this year than we've ever had before. More touring series probably coming to us than any other track other than maybe Hickory. The only things we don't have is the Cars Tour, the Southern Ground Pounders, and the Allison Legacy Series. And in lieu of the Southern Ground Pounders, we have the Virginia Vintage Racers who put on a fantastic show. A lot of the same guys racing in both of those. And those guys will actually help us open the season on March the 2nd in the Teddy's Water Hauling Winter Thaw. Hopefully everything at the track will be ready. Got a bunch of stuff going on. Got some water leaks and things, and some other renovations and projects and just stuff we're trying to get done here before we get the season started. So hopefully the weather will cooperate for us and we can get all that done.
Yeah, hopefully the weather. It's Groundhog Day coming up in the next couple days. Hopefully he doesn't see his shadows, so we can have an early spring and get everything going in the right direction.
That's always been backwards to me. I would think that if he saw his shadow, that winter would be over because that would mean the sun was out. I mean, these people, they come up with all kinds of craziness.
Well, they're dudes from like 1902, so that's probably why.
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to old Punxsutawney Phil or whatever his name is, and I don't put much stock into what he has to say, anyways. But anyways, like I said, we kick off the season. I'm gonna go through the schedule a little bit, talk a little bit about the races. We're some changes and some laps in divisions and things will transpire over the next couple of weeks as we dial everything in and get everything seated. But Teddy's Water Hauling Winter Thaw kicks us off on March 2nd, and then we're back in action on March 30th with the spring kickoff. That'll be our 50-lap Carolina Mini Stock Challenge Series race. That'll be a good one. The last time they were there, I believe A.J. Sanders won the race. Put on a good show. Those guys always put on a good show, and maybe with Motor Mile closed, Doodle Lang maybe looking to run some of those Carolina mini stock races. I think that'd be great. He'd be an added addition to their show for sure. And be one of those guys that could compete. Brittany Cockram, same thing there, and some of our guys, local, that have been racing with us. Josh Phillips has run with them at Dillon at times. Thomas Parmalee has run with them a few times. I believe he's going to their race coming up at Florence, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he's driving or if Jonathan Hall's driving his car again, but some of our local guys should be able to challenge those mini stock challenge series drivers. March 30th, that'll be a good date. April 13th, I know that's one you're excited about. The Kids Gold Rush. That'll be the first Kids Gold Rush of the year. I mean, those are always fun for the kids and seem to be growing.
It's always so exciting to watch the announcer. All right, kids, get your bags. Your Gold Rush is coming up. And you see kids running and begging their parent, I need a bag, I need a bag. You see them coming with totes, with Walmart bags, with Bojangles chicken boxes. I mean, kids come with a little bit of everything to get themselves some coin.
Yep. Usually put out a lot of nickels and quarters, and sometimes we do 50-cent pieces. And I think Lauren, when he was doing it, he'd throw some dollars down there or something, and we have a good time with that for sure. Kids Gold Rush will be exciting. April 13th, I believe the second one is on July 27th.
But before you get too far, you missed our kickoff. Our kickoff's February 24th. That's the banquet.
Right. And we kind of do it different. Most racetracks, they end their season and they go into December and they have their banquet, or early January. And that's cool and all, but we kind of like to do ours kind of end one season and start the next within a few weeks. This one happens to be within a week. They'll have open practice the day after the banquet, which some of them will still be hung over when they get there, to try to do that. No alcohol allowed. But whatever. The champion celebration on February 24th. At the Pig River Community Center, Rocky Mount. If you haven't got your tickets yet for that, be sure to do so. The deadline's coming up on February 11th, so we can have everybody. It's about 12 days from now, 11 days from now, so whatever. So get everybody in there. Probably got a few tables left, not much, but we'll fill that place up and have a really good time. Been trying to put the menu together for dinner, and looks like we're going to have us a good dinner, and with all the fixings and everything that you could want.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working with a couple of my girls to get this the menu right, and I mean, I think we've got a stellar menu. I hope you guys are planning to come hungry, because I think it's going to be really good. We even got some dessert we're going to throw in there, and
fat kids love cake. So
I love cake.
So yeah, definitely gonna have a good time, and try to play some music and give everybody a good time there. Hopefully, I'll get the video boards working and figuring all that out and getting all that stuff done. But anyways, that's February 24th. I did skip over that, but back to talking about the schedule. Our next race after the Kids Gold Rush be April 27th. That's the spring warm up. Then you go into the month of May. May starts out with the May 11th Mother's Day special. That includes the Grand National Super Series coming. Not sure who and all they got running that thing this year. I don't know if Jeremy Mayfield's still doing that, or if he's still involved or not. But man, he's been really good. He enjoys the track. He's really had a good time there, and the fans have enjoyed having him there. They'll be there on May 11th. Then you go on to May 18th, the Moonshine Nationals. We're trying to figure out the exact layout of how the Moonshine Nationals is going to work, but that'll be a special event for us. And then 6 days after that, we'll go into the Kenny Minner Classic, 110-lap smart modified race.
Favorite race of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's easily a favorite of a lot of people. The Smart Modified Tour puts on an exceptional show. Chris Williams and his people do a great job with that, and the racers and those things, man, they're tenacious, and they really get after it and put on a good show for the fans.
And the fans go absolutely wild when the modifieds come to town.
Yep, it's one of those shows that you don't want to miss for sure. Got that 110-lap Smart Modified race, 62-lap Carolina Crate Modified race, which we had them with us last year. Another addition to this show will be I believe it'll be a 35-lap USAC Eastern Midget race. It's going to be a good one. Plus, we'll have the Legends cars there that night, and then we'll race on that Friday. We'll take Saturday off. We'll probably practice on Sunday, and then we'll come back with a Memorial Day Bash on May 27th. And that'll feature all of our local divisions plus the East Coast Flatheads. Those guys are always draw in a few people that want to see those old cars, and all the fans love seeing those cars.
And while their shows might not be the greatest, they always, when they get near each other, they put on good racing. They race and battle
hard. They might not be the greatest. They put on there was a time 4, 5, 6 years ago when they just rode around. They don't ride around anymore. Those guys actually get after it. It's not like it used to be. I mean, they even tore a few up the last couple times they came.
They did.
I mean, they've really been getting after it. That's not just a ride around anymore. And at one time, it was kind of becoming that. But now, man, they put on a good show. Going into the month of June, we'll come back after that Monday. We'll come back right back after to that next Saturday with the Calvin Brooks Memorial. We'll have some more details on that coming up soon, too. June 15th, we'll have the Hall of Fame induction night. I done tried to do this for 2 years in a row and kind of got myself lost in the midst of the season and messed that up. But I'm circling that one on my calendar, June 15th, to get that one done. And then
you do know that this is in the midst of the season, too, right?
I do.
Okay.
Do. And I know exactly where my head's going to be, and hopefully I don't screw this up again.
Okay.
I mean, I've only managed to screw it up 2 years in a row. I mean, I ain't going 3 for Dale. I can just let you know. I ain't going to do it. Then the following week we run on June 22nd. That's the Ridge Runner Classic. That's twin 50-lap Super Cup Series races. My old buddy Harvey Harrison will be in town, I'm sure, and all the Harrisons will be there. Always like having them at the track, and good people from back in the day at Franklin County Speedway. Plus the whole series, they do a great job, and looking forward to working with them on June 22nd. June 29th brings our first Night of Destruction of the year, kind of later than we normally do it, and that's because we've been switching some things up. We're going to lead off with a 100-lap, 1,000 to win 4-cylinder Enduro. Plus we'll have, Enduro/any car for the 6 and 8-cylinder guys. Plus the Crown Vics. We have no bootlegger division anymore, so the Crown Vics kind of fit in there.
I'm kind of excited to see how that 1,000 to win 4-cylinder Enduro goes. It's kind of late. June is late for us to be running at any car type event, but I'm pretty excited to see what this one's going to bring.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I've had a lot of feedback from it already. Several guys talking about buying cars. Several guys talking about, trying to figure out if it was, crash them up any car style or just an Enduro. And it's just an Enduro. I mean, they're probably going to crash. I mean, let's just be real here. I mean, it's any car rules, basically, where you have no cautions. And, you run it straight through for those 100 laps. And, unless we flip one over, if somebody's in danger, we're not going to stop the race. And, that's going to be a good one. Plus, we'll have a flagpole race, push race, and we'll get the school buses out there for a little ride around. Hopefully, they beat and bang and put on a good show. And I got a couple of guys who've talked to me about bringing their own school buses to be part of the mix. So hopefully, we'll get them out there, and
that would be awesome, Dad. A couple more to ours. I mean, our buses put on a heck of a show to be our buses. I mean, we put drivers in them. That's just out there for fun, but it ain't fun when they get out there. They got to win that race.
They forget that I told them not to tear my stuff up, and they just go on and beat and bang anyway. So those are a good time. Get into the month of July. Of course, it's July 4th. We don't care what day of the week it is. July 4th is on a Thursday this year. We're going to have the Freedom 262. And that'll lead them off with the 100-lap Carolina. Well, I don't know if that's a 100-lap or 75-lap. I'll take that back. But Carolina Pro Late Model Series is gonna be there. Of course, the Carolina Crate Modified Series will be with them. Plus the Legends and Mini Stocks and Stock 4s will all race on that night. Then we'll come back on July 6th, and we'll have the Firecrackers 76 race. And that 76 race is going to mean that all the regular divisions, the core 4, will go for 76 laps. That's right. Late models, 76 laps. Legends, 76 laps. Mini stocks, 76 laps. And the stock 4 guys will go for 76 laps. Now, I think the stock 4 guys and maybe the Legends are going to have a break. Maybe the mini stocks, too. I'm not 100% sure. They have to have some sort of break there.
We might want to get a lot of Speedy Dry for that night.
Yeah, we'll stock up on the Speedy Dry for sure. But those will be extended laps, extended money races. Plus, they'll be joined by the East Coast Flatheads. They'll be back again on July 6th. Then we go July 20th. That'll be Second Amendment night. Plus, it's Christmas in July. We'll celebrate Christmas. We'll have old Elvis Claus out there giving out presents again this year. And we'll celebrate the Second Amendment. We're hoping to try to put together maybe a little gun show, right there on the property for the weekend as part of the Second Amendment night. We'll see how that goes. That's something in the works. So if you're interested in being a part of that, be sure to get a hold of us. July 27th, we'll finish up the month of July with another Kids Gold Rush plus the Jeremy Daly Memorial. That'll be a stock 4 special this year. Figure out exactly what we're doing laps-wise and money-wise.
And the Grand National Series will
close.
be there
Yep.
as well.
And the Grand National Series makes their final stop of the season on July 27th as well. And then we start to, kind of close out the season. You get to the month of July, and that's the fever pitch. That's getting you to the high there, and then we kind of start to, work our way back down to the end of the season. August 3rd will be another Night of Destruction, the Masters of Carnage, another 100-lap, 1,000 to win, 4-cylinder enduro, and that's subject to change. I'd love to bump that up to where it's a 200-lap, 2,000 to win, or 300-lap, 3,000. I don't care what it is, man. If we can get these 4-cylinder guys out there, these guys that got these cars, and the guys that are interested in that, we'll get them out there. Plus, we got some other stuff going on.
I just get excited over the flagpole race.
Flagpole
There's
race is always
nothing
good.
more interesting than the flagpole race, and the push race is really good too.
Yeah, push race has become my favorite. I like the tag team race. We'll probably have one that weekend as well.
They're a little rough on the tag team race.
Yeah, they get a little.
They
little
tag
added.
a little hard.
And with the 4-cylinder enduro being added, there's going to be a lot of smaller cars and a lot of guys. I think that'll get even more exciting for those races because there's not big cars out there, in the way. These small cars. And I think the gimmick races will be. I don't know if by the first time, but by the second time they'll be trimmed down to where they're just 4 cylinders. Then we go August 10th, the Buster Carroll Memorial Race. Always one of my favorite races. 58-lap late model race that night to celebrate the life and career of Buster Carroll. One of my favorite guys when I was a kid. Always supportive of me in the bike race and one of my favorite drivers on the track. August 24th, that'll be the Back the Blue Police Race night. Meeks Pick and Pull.
That's my favorite night of the year.
That's a good one. We talked about it with Noah last week. Talked about that race and how crazy it is and how much fun it is just to watch that race. And it's gonna be a good one again, I'm sure. Working on getting even more cars for that thing, and maybe altering the layout of the race day a little bit for those guys to, give them even more experience on the track. So that's going to be outside of the Smart Modified race. That could easily be the biggest race of the year.
That's my second favorite race of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good one to be your favorite. We turn the page to September, which is our last month of weekly. I'm not going to call it weekly because we're not racing every week, but last week of our points racing is in September. But we'll start off September 1st on a Sunday, Labor Day Classic. Got all the divisions running that weekend. Then we come back on September 14th, the Ricky Gillespie Memorial. Planning on doing a 78-lap late model race that night. That could be a very interesting one too. Always some guys that'll want to come out and get the trophy in honor of Ricky. Same with the Buster Carroll race and the Kenny Minter Classic. I mean, those have become staples of what we do. And after that race, we'll follow up the very following Saturday on September 21st. It'll be Champions Night. We'll celebrate all the champions with 50-lap races in all of our divisions. Plus, D's Lugnuts podcast the other day, they announced that we were having a Star Superstock Series race. We'll have those guys out there. It's kind of like the Mass Series. A lot of the same guys, Ledbetter and Marlon Yoder and Chris, I don't know how to say his last name, Rindo, whatever it is. You got those guys and all those old street stock guys coming to Franklin County. I'm hoping I need them to bump those laps up. We need to make it about a 75-lap race for those guys, and it'll be that'll be a heck of a show. We tried to put on the street stocks on our own last year, and Danny Bush was the only one that showed up, despite putting up 1,000 to win, and hopefully, well, I don't know, hopefully, but I know there's a lot of hype about this race for the Star Super Stock Series, and all them guys are already talking about it, and I think it's going to be a good show.
I think having a series come in like the Mass Series, I love the street stocks, and I hate that we can't have them on the weekly. But to have a series come in with them, it's just exciting to be able to see those guys on the track because they are that's some of the best racing still to this day that you'll see at any track.
Yep, street stocks are great. Wish we could find a way to build back a division of them there. At Franklin County, I've got some ideas, but ideas are only worth the brain they're in, and that's probably not worth that much. So, October we only have one race, so we'll take a month off basically. We'll go in October 26th, and it's technically not even a race. It's the Monster Smash for Halloween weekend. I think Halloween's like 5 days after. Got 2,000 to win, 200 lap 4-cylinder enduro for that weekend. I'm going to have something called the Great Pumpkin Race. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be really cool. Plus, all the other destruction. And we will finish up the season again a month after that, at the end of November, beginning of December, with the Leftovers race. That race has, we called it the Southern Turkey Derby, and then last year it kind of became the Leftovers race because we took everything we didn't get done due to rainouts and whatever else happened throughout the year last year and kind of threw it all into the bag and even had our championship night. And, I mean, that could happen again. Our championship night gets rained out. We don't move to the next week because the next week's Martinsville's late model race, and we just move on to the Leftovers race. That's how we finish up the championship, if that's what it comes down to, and it may. But that race is growing, and I'm trying to add some, we got our 4 core divisions. And I'm gonna cater to them as much as possible. But I got some ideas for maybe bringing in some modifieds. Not a smart tour race, but same rules, same guys. Bring them in for some big money. I mean, we really need that here. In the South. You got the North-South Shootout, and that's at Caraway, and that's been a staple, and that's been a great race, and it still is. But we need something at Franklin County. We've got it's modified country where we're at, and we really need to grow that. And I'd love to add the 602s in and, get the vintage cars involved and just, make that a whole weekend, planning on, running, racing for 3 days right there. So we'll see what happens.
And I love the name, the Leftover Race. Let's just sort of throw everything we got left over into a weekend and just have at it.
Yeah, and perfect timing right after Thanksgiving. People... I'm pretty sure based on the turnouts that we get and the Thanksgiving Classic on the same weekend at Southern National gets, I'm pretty sure people are just over Thanksgiving by the time Friday comes. But you get Thanksgiving and you get Black Friday in, and you're like, oh my God, man, I gotta have something to do, some sort of normal life. And for us racers and race fans, normal life's being at the racetrack. So, perfect way for us to. End our season. We've been toying the last couple of years with New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever race, and it just hasn't worked. And the infrastructure at the track, and cold temperatures and freezing pipes, and
and the swamp.
We're fixing that, so that won't be a problem going forward. But just all those things kind of just lead you in a direction where you're just like, I just can't make this happen. It just hasn't worked, for whatever reason. So hopefully, going ahead and ending it in November, or actually December 1st is what that Sunday is. We're going to end it that day, and I think it'll be a great show. I'm looking at that's the race, even though it's the end of the season, and I do kind of hate that because I hate when the season ends. That is always one of my favorite shows because it always just produces pretty wild things happen. This past year, we had the late model race, Bobby Gillespie leading, Kyle Dudley tracks him down. They get together coming off of turn 4. Corey Pack inherits the win. His carburetor's wrong. Darren Cockrum ends up with the trophy. I mean, things that happen in Franklin County, you just can't script. I mean,
you can't make this stuff up.
Crazy stuff happens at every racetrack, but man, it seems like we got extra crazy. Even without a full moon, we get the extra crazy here. So I don't know.
And even in the mini stocks, you had Brittany Cockrum that was just so determined. She wanted that trophy.
Yep. And she had the fastest car, but Josh was in front of her, and I didn't know if he was going to be able to hold her off or. But he gave up a little bit. I think maybe a little spotter error there. I'm not sure who his spotter was, but maybe just from looking at it, that's kind of my diagnosis of what happened there for her to get sneaked by. And maybe she would have anyways. I don't know. You never know. But I don't know what anything stand out to you, throughout the season that we hadn't talked about. I mean, I know I know you love it when it gets real hot up there in the tower, and you can't breathe, and sweat's rolling down in your eyes, and you can't see the computer screen for scoring.
Well,
And,
you're talking about July, sort of, wearing down the season. No, August, you're up there melting. You just
Yeah.
melt away the whole month of August.
And it's funny how quick it turns. You get the hottest in the month of hottest, and sweaty, nastiest in August, and then sometimes you'll flip the page to September, and as soon as we get through the Labor Day Classic, it's like, oh gosh, it got cold out here.
Then we have to bring the heaters out and the blankets.
Yeah, you got to grab a hoodie. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to the season. Looking forward to everything we got going on. A lot of stuff I'm not ready to announce yet. A lot of announcements you'll see over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, with all of our division sponsors, we'll have all that taken care of. Still working on a couple of them. Hoping to get all that ironed out. Still in the mix for INEX. Quote unquote, we've been approved. We just haven't got our INEX sanctioning yet. Hopefully, we'll have that in the next few days.
And I think that's going to be huge. I think that's going to bring Legends guys that doesn't necessarily know that Franklin County Speedway's on the map, but it's going to give us the validation we need to say, hey, let's go race there. Let's go see what this is all about.
It definitely gives us an opportunity to draw Legends cars from everywhere. Ona Speedway in West Virginia, which is the only asphalt track up there, they've got a huge contingent of Legends cars that don't have anywhere else to race. They don't race every week, so maybe we'll get some of those guys to travel down. Obviously, we're close to North Carolina, the hub of INEX racing there in Charlotte. Those guys don't even know we exist. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of those guys up and have them as part of our season. And I'm planning on doing some big races. I know Nathan Wheat wants to sponsor a couple of races, and Brad Shiflett is planning on doing some stuff with some races this year, and some other guys that have talked to me already. And I think we're in for a really exciting season with the Legends cars. I feel like we're in for a really exciting season with all of our divisions. Late models over the last couple of years has kind of dipped off and been a real thorn in my side. But they seem to be, and everybody thinks, well, Motor Mile's closed, and man, you're going to gain all these cars. Well, there's not a lot of cars that are. Let's be clear. They only had 7 late models, so the maximum we could gain is 7, which 7 would be great. I'd love to gain 7, but of those guys, most of them were from the Abingdon, Lonesome Pine, Kingsport area of the world, and they're not coming to Franklin County. They might on a one-off basis, but they're not coming there on a regular basis. So we're working toward building our own, core group of people. And I got these Super Street guys. They still want to run some races. We got 4 divisions, but I do have some dates and some openings in our schedule where, it'd be better if I didn't run late models and I ran, Super Street, or if I ran, something else, 602 mods, and I got a few of those guys wanting to try to race, and you just trying to balance all of that. It's really hard, but I know they all put on a good show, and especially at Franklin County, anything can put on a good show there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're just trying to iron out the rest of this schedule and get it out there, for everybody. And I'd like to, get out there and get some posters and some flyers and stuff, start getting them in stores and restaurants, and, get everything out there and try to push this. We're going to push this season really hard. We didn't have the greatest year last year, fan-wise, car count-wise, really, but our Legends and our Stock 4s kind of balanced us out last year as far as car count goes, and we're hoping the mini stocks looks really good. I've had a lot of feedback. Our rules are out there. I've only had one complaint out of the rules, and that was, something really simple that really didn't even matter once we actually talked about it. So hopefully we'll have a good field of everything. Hopefully we can get a decent field of late models and have a good field of mini stocks. And I feel like our Legends class is just going to continue to grow. There's more and more guys that have bought local cars. So I feel really strongly about that. And the Stock 4s, it's good. It's good every week. We talked about that with Noah. It's...
Oh, yeah. Stock 4, you don't even have to question it. When the Stock 4 is going to roll out, it's going to be good.
And that's with 5 cars or 50. It really doesn't make any difference,
50 sort of scary, but, 5 to 15 is great.
Yeah, 50 sounds really good to me, just for the record. all I don't have to score that. So, it's all okay with me. Anything else season, you're thinking about, looking forward to, or anything else?
No, I think my smart modifieds and my back the blue night, and the nights that we do the bigger races for like the legends and the stock fours, the longer endurance races. They really intrigue me because it's not something we do much. So I'm really excited to see how it's all going to play out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. I mean, stock four division has a lot of competition, a lot of good competition. I don't know if Wes is racing this year. Wesley Givens, the champion, 17-time winner from last year. I don't know if he's planning on racing this year or not. You got second place, rookie of the year, Jaden Austin. I know he's planning to try to race. Josh Brown planning to race. Pretty much everybody that was there last year, I believe, is planning on racing again this year.
You got Gary Smith
Yeah,
coming back.
Gary Smith, only ran 7 races. In my mind, I couldn't think of who the rookie of the year was going to be in that class because, I was thinking about him, and I didn't realize that Jaden was a rookie, and, he ran so good this past year, I didn't realize that he was a rookie at all, so, made me look like an idiot. I didn't even realize it, but, but you got Gary Smith. He's, they've been working on their car and trying to get it better, and, everybody's going to be, the new spring rubber rule. Everybody's, trying to get their cars dialed in, and get them better. And
hopefully they don't dial them out while trying to dial
well,
them.
I hope some of them do. That'd be great, that's what makes the competition good. The same people winning every week. And, while West won 17 races, that's still not, but about 41% of the races, there's 42 races last year. So 17 sounds like a lot. Like if he'd have won 17 late model races, well, he'd have won, 7 more than we had. So that was a lot. but when you're talking about 42 races and 17 wins, while that is a lot because nobody else won 17, Jaden won 8, Noah won 6. That's a competitive season right there. No matter how you slice it.
We had a lot of stock 4 races, and I think having the different winners, kept the fans on their feet. Like every week, is Wes going to be on his game? Is somebody going to start in front of him and be able to keep him behind them?
Right. And him changing cars after he sold his car to Gary Smith made the change the racing because that Cobalt doesn't handle like the Sunfire. Good, better, worse. I don't know. But it definitely changed the dynamic, and I think that it made for some great racing there at the end of the year. Legends car division was good every week, even if they had 4 cars or if they had 14 cars. They were a great show. I prefer the 14. That was an incredible show last Labor Day weekend. I'm working on a deal for Labor Day weekend for this year. If I can put it together, it's going to be even bigger than it was last year. Get a lot of Legends cars out there, but we'll see how that goes. Trying to put together some things with some sponsors, and that's what makes this whole deal work is some sponsorship, and we're working on all that. Got some people out working pretty much every day, trying to get maximum sponsorship dollars and trying to turn it into something for the racers and the race fans, and that's what we got going on. And I'll tell you guys more about the renovation projects that we have at the racetrack later on down the road. But trying to, just trying to make the place a little better, a little bit here and there, every chance we get. Aesthetically, it's like putting lipstick on a pig sometimes, because you got a 56-year-old facility that, its best. It's. I'm not gonna say its best days are behind it, but its best looking days have been behind it for a while. So you've got to try to make that better, little by little, every chance we get. And I think we're slowly doing that. We upgraded the bathrooms in the pits a couple of years ago. They've been much better.
But the greatest thing is when people come in for the first time and they're like, "Man, this place is a turd. This place is awful." And then they get out there and they're like, "Man, this is the greatest racetrack I've ever been on in my life." There's nothing more satisfying than hearing a racer say that.
Well, it's kind of equally, you get fans, they come in and they go, "Oh my God, did I drive out here for this?" And then they watch the race and they go, "God, I want to be back next week." It's just one of those places that, you want to watch and you want to be a part of once you get there. You you may not realize it when you pull up and see it, but those aesthetics, those are things we're working on, trying to make better and trying to give the fan experience better. Try to do some more promotions and like the hockey team and baseball teams and stuff do. We're going to try to work on doing more of those. The Kids Gold Rush has been a great step in that direction. Kids bike races every week is a great
Hopefully
step in that direction.
get some more wrestling coming in.
Yeah, we got some wrestlers. I think they're coming 5 times this year. Pure Pro Wrestling. I think they'll be here with us 5 times during the course of the year, and that'll be exciting. Maybe they'll drag Nathan drag him out of the stands, and out of the pits, and back up into the wrestling ring, and finish off what he started there. Who knows? But all right, I know this was kind of not what you guys were expecting, out of the podcast this week. Hopefully, I'll be able to get. I'm gonna work whether get them on the phone or in person for next week. If I'm not in a position to record there at the track or record somewhere where we sit down and do that. But hopefully we'll put together a good podcast for next week, and we'll tell you more about what we got going on. And it's unrolling every day. Met with Hoosier today, and just got some stuff going on. We've talked with Cobra, tire wise, and just all kinds of things. So there's every day it's something new. Wish I could do a podcast, with you just to tell you about the day every day, maybe 5 minutes, and maybe that's something we can do in the future. To plan.
Well, just to let you know, I'm up to be your co-host.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've done a good job through these first 4 episodes, even though this is episode 3. We had episode 0 there. So we're getting dialed in, and we're gonna, this podcast we're kind of recording it late Tuesday night. It'll come out, early in the morning. Actually, it'll come out on Spotify here probably in like 15 minutes. For those that are still up, but it'll actually come out, it'll come out on our website and on our Facebook page tomorrow morning. So we're late at night, past Kim's bedtime.
Definitely past my bedtime.
To record this because we wanted to keep up. Hey, we said, hey, we're going to have this every Wednesday. Well, we got to have this every Wednesday. And every Wednesday we want this out there for you, and we want you guys to, enjoy this and get some information out of this. And, if there's something, there's a little, if you listen to us on Spotify especially, there's a little question on there every episode. It's, ask what you think or whatever it is. I'm not sure how it's phrased there. But tell us what you want. Tell us what you want to hear. If you don't like the sound of my voice, you don't like the sound of Kim's voice, you don't like what I have to say, you don't like what she has to say, you enjoy it, you don't enjoy it, whatever it is, or you want to hear somebody, or you're like, hey, man, why don't y'all talk about such and such? Well, let us know so we can make that happen here on the Pit Chatter Podcast. We're enjoying this. We're planning on ramping this thing up. And just continuing. We got some guests that we've been working on getting booked, and the renovation kind of through James Folds was the intention to be this week's guest. I believe he's off in Daytona this week, but he'll be back, and we'll get him recorded soon enough. I don't know if he'll be the next episode or not. Just depends on how it plays out, but looking forward to getting more episodes done and getting this season underway. I can't wait to be able to talk about a race on here.
Yeah, I can't wait for our first race to be able to sit and say, okay, so this is what happened this night, and all the craziness, because every race there's something wild that goes on.
We can talk about all the things that I managed to screw up over the course of the race day, and we'll have fun. So
I do a little of that on myself.
We all do. We're human. We make mistakes, but appreciate you guys listening, and we'll be back next week with another episode.